We do this all the time, probably without even thinking about it. Telling a story, writing an email, just catching up with a friend. We're constantly reporting what other people have said. It's a huge part of how we communicate. So in this explainer, we're going to break down the two powerful ways we do this, direct and indirect speech. So let's start with the one we all know, direct speech. You see those quotation marks and you immediately get it. It's simple, it's clear, and it feels real, like you're right there, hearing his exact words. You can almost hear his voice, can't you? But what if we do this with it? Now we're in the world of indirect speech. The quotation marks are gone, and the words have been tweaked just a little bit to fit smoothly into our own sentence. Okay, so hold on. It's the exact same message, but it's presented in two totally different ways. The big question is, how do we actually get from one to the other? And maybe more importantly, why would we even want to? Let's dig in. All right, let's kick things off with that first mode of narration, the one that's all about keeping it 100% real. At its core, direct speech is just a straight-up quote. You're capturing the person's exact words, their tone, their personality, everything, and wrapping it up in quotation marks. It's the perfect way to add a little drama and make a story feel like it's happening right now. But, sometimes you don't need all that drama. Sometimes it's really just about the information. And that's where our other mode of narration comes into play. It's all about getting to the point. With indirect speech, you'll also hear it called reported speech. We ditch the quotation marks entirely. Why? Because we're not quoting anymore, we're reporting. We're just giving you the gist, the main idea. This is super useful in things like news articles or formal reports, where the key facts are what truly matter. So here's the cool part. How do we switch between these two styles without completely messing up the meaning? Well, it's not just random. There's a system to it, and it all boils down to 3 key rules for making the change. All right, rule number 1, and this is the big one. The tense has to shift. Think about it. When you report something someone said, it's already happened, right? So to show that, the verb has to take one logical step back into the past. And you can see that step back so clearly here. In the first example, the present tense am becomes the simple past was. Easy. And this logic keeps working even if the original quote was already in the past. I finished takes one more step back to had finished. It's a consistent pattern. Next up, rule number 2 is all about pronouns. And honestly, this is just common sense. It's about perspective. When a person says I, they're talking about themselves. But when you report what they said, you have to change the pronoun so it makes sense from your point of view. So for instance, when she says, I will help you, the I is obviously her. When we report it, that I has to become she to point back to the right person. And you, the person she's talking to, might become him or her or them to make it clear who's getting the help. And our final big rule has to do with those little words that anchor us in time and place. Words like now, here, or today. Their meaning totally depends on context, so when the context changes, so do the words. This table right here is your ultimate cheat sheet for this. And it makes perfect sense, right? If someone says they'll do something tomorrow, and you're telling the story a week later, tomorrow doesn't work anymore. You'd say the next day. Same thing goes for here becoming there, and now becoming then. Okay, so we've pretty much nailed the rules for simple statements. But let's be real, conversations are more than that. What happens when you need to report a question, or a command, or even a burst of emotion? Each one has its own little twist. When you're reporting a question, the most important thing to remember is you're not asking it yourself. You're just stating that someone else asked it. And that means the grammar has to shift from that question format back into a regular old statement. Will you look at that? See how the word order just flips? The direct question is, where is the library? But in the reported version, it becomes a statement, where the library was. The verb moves to the end. And notice, no question mark. It's not a question anymore. Commands work in a very similar way. Again, you're not the one giving the order, you're just describing it. The most common and smoothest way to do this is to change the main command verb into an infinitive. The to do something form. It's a really clean and clever transformation. That sharp, direct command, submit, just softens right into the reported action, to submit. It's a great way to report the instruction without sounding like you're the one giving the order. So, what do we do with exclamations? Like wow or oh no. You can't really report the sound itself, can you? So instead, you kind of have to play detective. Your job is to identify the emotion behind the word and just state it directly. This is all about translating a feeling into a description. Instead of just sticking hurrah into your sentence where it might feel a bit awkward, you describe the feeling. He exclaimed with joy. And for a word like alas, you can say she cried out in sorrow. You're capturing the spirit of what was said, not just the literal word. All right, let's do a quick lightning round recap. Direct speech is the speaker's exact words, inside quotes, for when you want drama. Indirect speech is the gist of the message, no quotes, for when you want clarity. To switch between them, you got to change the tense, pronouns, and time words. And don't forget those special rules for questions, commands, and emotions. So, at the end of the day, neither style is better than the other. They're just different tools for different jobs, and that leaves you, the storyteller, with a choice. The next time you share something, are you going to be a reporter, summarizing the facts for clarity? Or are you going to be a director, letting the characters speak for themselves to really bring the drama to life? The power to shape that narrative is entirely in your hands.